time for court. Court is in session.
All rise. This court with the Honorable Judge Van Landrum presiding is now in session.
Please be seated. Getting lots of good texts about the movies, too. Comedies, I don't think those work as well.
If it's funny for all ages, then I don't think it
But this one
lines up as well.
This one gets what I'm talking about. Brian's Song.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, why are you watching Brian's Song at 8 years old?
Yeah.
Such a sad, sad movie. Okay, Court's Court. These are from you. You sent these in. You want us to rule on them. The first one. I have been into making sourdough lately. And the first rule of sourdough making is when you pull it out of the oven, you cannot cut into it. It has to cool. Well, I went to take a shower after I pulled a sourdough loaf out of the oven and told my husband not to touch it. When I came back, he had eaten the whole top of the sourdough. The nice crunchy part that everybody loves. It looked like a skinned animal. He says nobody likes that part, and he made it better. He also thinks I overreacted. What kind of savage act is this? This is savage. The crunchy part's the best. All of it together is the good part.
And he just skinned the top off and ate
Nobody
it
likes
all.
the crunchy part. You are out of your mind, sir.
Was this guy serious? Or
He thought, honestly, that people want the inside of the sourdough.
But she told him, first of all,
He's
do
wrong
not
for that.
touch it. Yes.
He said he made it better. I just think you need to file for divorce. How could you be with this monster?
I can't imagine you're going to get a judge in any of the districts that we represent that's going to back him.
I can imagine the anger she had.
Oh,
If she
all
probably-
the work she goes into making a loaf of sourdough.
She probably had a little blind rage.
Oh, yeah.
He says she overreacted. You did not overreact, ma'am.
She underreacted.
Yes, I don't even know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But it's not enough, whatever you did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guilty.
how awful. So guilty.
So guilty.
This is open and
He has
closed.
no leg to stand on.
I would like to hear his side of the story, just in case there's some other angle because she's presented a very airtight case.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, it is. We only get one side.
True.
But what's the other side?
What is his defensible position other than nobody likes that?
Nobody. What is he thinking? Everybody likes that. It's the best part. I just bought a loaf of sourdough the other day that's an everything sourdough loaf. It's all sliced, and all the everything is on that crunchy, yummy part.
Yeah. It's everything.
It's everything. All right, next one. So he's guilty.
Yeah, clearly.
We all agree, right?
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
Very guilty.
All right, the next one. Court issue. I live in a condo. My neighbors upstairs from me have their TV turned up way too loud. This is happening after 10 p.m. Should I say anything? Afraid to, because they live above me and I don't want even more issues. I don't want them inviting the bowling team over to practice. I don't know how to handle this. The last person that lived in an apartment with thin walls that I know is Tim Convey.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal.
How do you go about letting people know that they're being too loud without starting something?
I mean, I remember back to the dorm years when it was the worst, when you'd have somebody wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and just start blasting their stereo. And you're like, what kind of a idiot animal are you? Why are you doing that to punish all of us? That was always the worst. But then I do remember the apartments and people being loud late. But I can't remember a single time that I complained. Because I don't want the, like, retribution.
Yeah, but think about it. You're young. You should know better when you get a little older and you're an adult living in an apartment.
I was surprised when I lived in apartments as an adult how often I ran into loud people. Like, I thought we were done with this in college.
Yeah.
I think what you have to do is bake sourdough, take the whole top of it off, and give it to him as a gift.
Yeah, here you go. I went ahead and took the worst part off for
and
you.
say, write a little note. Hey, I baked this for you.
Yeah.
Just to let you know that TV's really loud after 10. How did you deal with it?
I told I told on him.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I went upstairs once, and then the people next to me because it was like banging. It was crazy, and I had a friend over, and we went up, and we're like, "What are you doing?" And they were cooking something or something insane. And then the guys next to me were young and always partying and music, and I was like, I can't start a thing with them. But I told the office, and
I think I would tell on him too.
And
Yeah.
I more because I was more like, you guys have to deal with this, and I can't. As much as I was spending at that place, I'm like, this is absurd. So it was because what are those?
They were like really partying late.
Constantly, and the stereo. I mean, it was just this constant thing, and it's like, well, that's what they're not going to just be kind and be like, oh yeah, we can kind of keep. This was like those people should not be in this. Like.
This is not right for you.
Yes, this is or what is here? These kids are just partying constantly, like it's a frat house or something. Anyway,
Yeah, I think you got to tell on him.
I really showed them when I moved out.
They were like, I guess we should straighten up our act, guys.
It was
And the next guy
expensive.
Going to
was,
Glendale.
It was an expensive place too.
Yeah, it was a great run. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was for the majority. It was just towards the end there that stuff got out of control, but. For the majority of
I
my stay
hated
there,
that
was
so
good.
much. I hated the noise of being in apartments, and I always had a fear that somebody was going to burn the place down.
For being.
Because they would have a candle going or something,
Yeah.
and then I'd come home and like everything would be gone.
Yeah, you do rely on your safety based on their safety.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, I know I'm not leaving.
Because
lit.
when I lived in an apartment, I left a candle lit.
Is that the one
Burned-
that exploded on the
It
table?
burned on the table. Yeah.
You about took everybody out.
Yeah. It was a great place. All right, and one more. This is really long. I'll try to shorten it. Question for Court. If you're at a store and you check out, then you leave the store, and then you realize the cashier made a mistake, and you either got something for free or for a lot less, is it on you to go back to the store and tell them they made a mistake? Or is it on the store who is making the mistake? They had a situation in Christmas. They were at a store buying a shirt that had been marked down. There was confusion at the checkout, doing a price check. And instead of being charged $4 for the shirt, the cashier and I didn't get charged at all. I didn't realize it. After we left the store, my daughter told me to check the receipt. I didn't get charged. I didn't go back in to tell the store. I feel like it's on the store. My husband told me I was a bad role model. This is where the court comes in. My husband told me I was a bad role model for my daughter. Was I wrong for not going back to the store?
I say no. I say if they messed it up, then me personally, I feel no reason to go back in to correct it, especially over something that's only $4.
Oh, $4?
$4.
Nope.
No. I think it does depend on. I know what the husband's saying, though, but I want to know if the husband would have done it.
Yeah, I think he's grandstanding a little bit. And in case somebody tries to call me out on any sort of hypocrisy with relation to the fork issue when Tim stole the fork from the restaurant, if I got my to-go order and somebody had tossed in a real fork, I'm just taking it. I'm not going back in and be like, hey, I think you guys accidentally put a real fork in. I'd be like, well, no, they gave it to me, so I'm out. So I will amend that.
Do you think it's a cost thing? There's an amount there?
Maybe.
And it depends on the place. Is it Walmart or is it like a mom and pop
Yeah, I would agree to that too.
shop?
The
I
bad
would feel
role
more
model
guilty.
thing is not nice to do to
No,
your
it's
wife.
not nice.
Yeah, that just
It is rude.
he's kind of sticking it to her a little bit.
So it does. There are variables there about what kind of place, what the amount is. That $4, you are not in the wrong for that. I don't think.
I don't feel like it, but
That's why I don't
If
have
you're-
children, because I would be a terrible role model for them.
yeah, I mean the
We'd be
fact that the
gambling.
daughter though asked like, well, let's check the receipt, makes me wonder like this kid might be a real straight laced.
She knew.
That would be like if we did that around Amelia. I could see her being like, "Oh, I can't believe
Yeah. Yeah.
you stole from the store."
Oh, she would never let you live it down.
No, she would be shocked.
In the case of this exact example, you're not guilty.
I don't feel
Not
like
guilty.
It, no. Yeah.
All right. Court is adjourned. You can send in your court dilemmas. We'll get to them next week at 314-669-1037. 4665. That's a Cheney window and door text line.